price of oil remains in flux.
Plenty of fighting across the Middle East today. Cluster warheads causing extensive damage.
And the aerial battle between both sides has intensified.
The timing could not be worse. As the Iran war disrupts global oil supply and drives up prices, countries need stable energy systems. Yet Malaysia now faces a dispute over its petroleum laws, raising uncertainty when stability matters most. Against this backdrop, emotions are high. Some East Malaysian leaders are voicing frustrations over oil and gas revenue, with talk of leaving the federation.
Secession talk is a symptom, but perhaps perbualan keluar Malaysia ini mungkin bukan satu ancaman, tetapi mungkin ialah simptom, mungkin ada defisit kepercayaan di sana.
Kalau betul-betul pihak kerajaan persekutuan tidak mau tunaikan 40%, tidak mau bagi kerusi wajar untuk Sabah, setakat sekarang pun tidak pernah memberitahu keuangan yang sebenar berapa yang hasil diterima daripada Sabah dan Sarawak. Kita masing-masing saja.
Looking what's happening here in the mainland, maybe we were never meant to be one nation in the first place. That's why God separated us by the South China Sea. You don't like us, just divorce us.
These are not straight comments. They show how far the Petronas Sarawak dispute has spread beyond oil and gas. What started as a dispute over gas aggregation and regulatory overlap is now a constitutional fight. Sarawak has asked the federal court to examine the validity and applicability of 3 federal petroleum laws, including the Petroleum Development Act 1974. Petronas first went to court to seek clarity on which legal framework governs its operations in Sarawak. Sarawak then went further by challenging the PDA itself. That changes the dispute. It is no longer just about Petronas and Petros working out an arrangement, but about who ultimately controls petroleum resources off Sarawak's coast. Sarawak frames this as a rights issue, but also as a development issue. Its argument is that petroleum resources within its boundaries should be treated as part of Sarawak's entitlement under the Malaysia Agreement 1963 and the constitutional arrangements behind the formation of Malaysia. From that follows a broader demand: greater control over gas supply, a larger role for Petros, and a bigger share of the value generated offshore. Its leaders have also been careful to say that this is not about destroying Petronas.
Petronas shouldn't be too worried because we're not going to hurt Petronas purposely to say that why should we want to kill off Petronas?
That matters. Sarawa is not presenting this simply as an attack on a national company. It is presenting it as a push for a different balance of power and benefit. The PDA is not a technical side issue. It is the foundation of Malaysia's petroleum system. By vesting petroleum resources in Petronas, it created a single national oil company with consolidated authority. Economist Golim Tai says that model gave Malaysia scale in a capital-intensive global industry. And scale matters. He adds that the oil and gas industry requires huge upfront investment. Offshore platforms, pipelines, liquefied natural gas facilities, export infrastructure. In that kind of business, size can lower costs, strengthen financing, and improve bargaining power. Malaysia is not a giant producer. For a country of its size, coordination can be the difference between staying competitive and being squeezed. That is also how former Finance Minister Tengku Razali Hamzah still explains the logic behind Petronas. His argument is that oil control had to be moved away from foreign hands and put under a national structure strong enough to generate more value for the country as a whole.
Kita duduk keadaan serba salah sekarang. Belah sana orang besar, belah sini orang besar. Kita orang kecil. Minyak kita pun tak seberapa. Gunalah sebaik mungkin. Yang dapat 5% sekarang, kita cuba besarkan.
So his point is not that Sabah and Sarawak should accept less. It is that Malaysia needed a structure big enough to grow the pie. That is the scale argument in its simplest form. Malaysia needed enough weight and credibility to deal with a business dominated by much larger players. This is why so many politicians over the years, across party lines, have rallied behind Petronas. Their argument is not that Sarawak has no grievances, it is that weakening Petronas could weaken the whole system.
Petronas is the goose, they lay the golden eggs. If you were to
break up, the goose that lay the golden egg to several parts, we lost the economic scale.
A goose that produces a golden egg should be kept for the future of the people of this country.
To destroy Petronas, I think, is a bad move, because this is one company that Malaysians are proud of. It's a great company.
Takkanlah sampai orang kata to kill the goose that lay the golden egg. Pasal kalau Petronas rugi, Sarawak pun rugi.
Kita tahu Petronas ada pelaburan di seluruh dunia dan kita dah mau imej Petronas itu terjejas.
Dan Petronas perlu jaga reputasi syarikat untuk meyakinkan pelabur asing.
This is why some lawmakers see Sarawak's latest move as an escalation. Their issue is not with seeking clarity in court, it is with going after the PDA itself, because that opens a much larger question about the structure of the industry.
Jadi bila PDA itu diwujudkan, dia adalah untuk mewujudkan satu economy of scale, dari segi skill, workforce, technical resources dan sebagainya.
That is the concern. Once the fight moves from arrangements to foundations, the consequences may extend far beyond Sarawa and Petronas. Even many of those defending Petronas are not saying Sarawak should be ignored. Their point is that legal clarity should not replace negotiation.
Bukan bermakna Petronas membawa isu ini ke mahkamah untuk menidakkan hak Sarawak. Dan juga bukan Sarawak membawa isu ini ke mahkamah untuk menidakkan kerajaan Sekutuan. Tak. Bagi saya inilah platformnya untuk tengok balik apa perjanjian itu, apa justifikasi perjanjian itu sendiri, untuk tidak ada orang yang keliru apa perjanjian tersebut.
Dua-dua Petronas dan Sarawak harus berbincang, mencari jalan penyelesaian yang terbaik. Maknanya it's a win-win lah, bukan zero sum.
And even Sarawak's own leaders have acknowledged that this cannot be resolved through confrontation alone.
Gas industry, kita kerjasama dengan Petronas. After all, we need Petronas.
Kita tidak mahu Petros terperangkap dalam isu ini agak lama, sebab ini akan mengurangkan keyakinan pelabur kepada Petronas sendiri.
The court can answer legal questions, but it cannot, on its own, resolve the larger tension between Sarawak's demand for greater control and Malaysia's need to preserve a viable national energy system. So the issue is not whether Sarawak has claims worth hearing. It does. The issue is whether those claims can be accommodated without weakening the structure that made Petronas a national institution in the first place. That is what makes this dispute so consequential. It is about rights, it is about scale, and it is about whether Malaysia can hold both together.
Important here that I would like to conclude is that Malaysia ini dibina untuk kita berkembang bersama.
Danish Reza, FMT.